Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. The Great Resignation is still going strong, and what that means is that a lot of people are starting new jobs, perhaps even in a new business, or they're getting promoted inside their existing business and they've got a different scope of responsibility, different team, etc. A lot of times people get really nervous about starting a new job. I know I have in the past. I've gotten exceptionally nervous when I've started a new role. You may have too. You may even have an upcoming job change that you know about and you're thinking, not sure what I'm gonna do when I start this new job. Perhaps you got a friend who's in that same position. Well, what's important to remember is that it's exciting to start a new job. It can also be really something that creates a lot of anxiety and some nervousness, which is totally normal. So what we're going to talk about today is how you can help yourself by creating a plan for when you start your new job. So I'm going to start off with a small story about a buddy of mine named John. I've known John since I was in high school. Guy is brilliant. He's got an advanced degree. He's working on his PhD, and he just changed jobs a couple weeks ago. And John was nervous, and I was a little bit surprised. I'm thinking, man, this guy he's so good. He's been doing this job for so long, for 18 years of this one business, and now he's moving to another business. And he shared on social media that he was a little concerned. He said, I don't know the people. I'm not so sure about the processes. I'm not sure how I'm going to prove myself. And he was a little bit worked up. And I thought, wow, this would be a good thing to cover because there's so many tools that John could use to help himself. Again, this is also something that is totally normal. We get used to how we work with coworkers or with one part of a business, and then we go to a different business or to a different team, and we don't feel as comfortable, not sure how things work over there. Don't worry, we're going to talk about a lot of this, and you'll hopefully feel a lot better. And again, hopefully you'll have a strong plan that you can create for yourself after watching this video. So let's jump into step one. The first part is going to be thinking about the technical aspects of the job. So every job has got technical requirements. That's usually the majority of what's on the job posting. You were almost certainly hired because you can meet these technical requirements. So what's important to remember is that they didn't pick your name out of a hat or throw a dart. They chose you on purpose, and they chose you again with the confidence that you can meet these, or that with a little bit of training, you will be able to meet these technical requirements. So keep in mind that you're not, you didn't somehow wind up in a position that's far beyond your skill set. You're gonna be good to go. One other thing to remember here is that there may be some gaps. If you've got gaps, don't sweat it. When you got those, just be sure to identify them and then come up with a plan to address them. You may also work with your manager to prioritize these, and we'll go through a method of prioritizing everything a little bit later on. So stick a pin in the prioritizing piece. One other piece to remember is that the technical skills you have already, you learned those. You took your time, you dedicated effort, you really thought about how you could expand your skill set, and that's how you created these technical skills that have landed you this job in the first place. Those haven't evaporated. You still know how to learn new things. So remember that you'll be able to apply that into this new job to come up with more skills, different skills, and extending the skills you have to meet all the requirements for this new role. Now we're going to jump over to the behavioral side of the house. This is usually where if I ask people, well, how are you going to show up? I'll get some blank stares, maybe a little bit of sweat starts to form on someone's cheek. This is where people often think, I don't know, I'm not really sure. Don't worry, totally normal. Again, we're gonna cover this. So the behavioral side, again, is how am I going to show up? And what's important about this is a choice you have. This is something you get to determine, you get to decide every single day, and actually every single moment of the day. So you may go to one meeting with somebody and decide to show up one way. You may go to a different meeting with a different person and decide to show up a slightly different way. What's important to remember is that as you start, for the first probably couple of weeks, you're not going to be doing a heck of a lot technically. There's a good chance. You may, you'll be doing some work maybe. Mostly what you're going to be doing is learning about the business, getting to know the team, understanding what's important for that quarter or that whatever that period in the year is. You're going to be doing a lot of learning, a lot of listening, a lot of understanding. These are all things that you get to decide in how you show up. So if you just think about that, what's your behavioral intent? You may say, I want to learn. I'm going to ask questions, and then I'm going to ask follow-up questions. Yeah, that's follow-up. and if where I don't understand, I'm going to be really honest. I'm going to make sure that I keep asking questions until I'm clear, or I may ask for other resources. These are things, again, that you get to decide to do. With any job, there's so much that you're learning. I encourage you to have learning as one of the key behaviors that you're going to utilize on a regular basis. What's also going to be really important is not only learning about the what with the business, you also want to learn about the who. So this is where you're going to get to meet new people. They may be people on your team, they may be peers, they may be a manager, they may be clients, they may be suppliers, vendors, all kinds of people that you're going to get to meet. I encourage you to do is begin to break these out and put them into buckets, put them into categories. Sit down with your manager and decide, okay, who is most important for me to meet first? What's happening that, what's coming up perhaps in the next 2 to 3 months that we can use to help us prioritize in this list of who? So if there's a particular project or activity going on, you may front load meeting some of those people first, whereas something's going to happen later in the year, you can wait on that just for a little bit. What's nice about this is it's going to give you a much stronger plan for how you show up. Now what you're going to do is you're going to say, okay, now I know I'm going to be learning about the who. How do I begin to break this down? I'm a big fan of going for the months. So month 1, you're going to have a plan just for month 1. I'm going to meet these people. I'm going to learn these technical things over here. I may go to this location. I'm going to ask these kinds of questions. And again, along the way, you're going to help yourself by deciding how you show up. What's really important here, again, is you've got technical skills. The place you're at may do things slightly differently. So one thing you can be sure to do is to challenge yourself and your assumptions. So what this means is that if you go to a location and they're working on a project, instead of assuming you know things, and oftentimes this is where people will kind of get themselves into trouble. They'll want to be smart. They'll want to show their technical chops. So they'll say, oh, well, that's this, or you're using this process for that, or that looks like this kind of chemical, or whatever it is. Forget that stuff. Instead, challenge yourself to check your assumptions. And what that means is ask more questions. People are going to figure out how brilliant you are very quickly. What you can do is ask a lot of questions, learn a lot, be open, be humble, be willing to learn. You can't learn if you're showing how much you know, because then you're showing how much you know. So, and I will tell you, I've had this too, where I've gone into an environment, I want to make sure they know I'm good, and I realize later on, dang it, I missed a good opportunity to really learn about them, to really learn about this process or what's so key with this particular project. So challenge your assumptions, get them to explain things, even if it's things that you think you know, and you will likely learn a lot. Also, ask different people questions. You're going to get one answer from one person. If there's a team of people there, you may go to someone else and get some input from them. So now you're not only building relationships with different people, you're also getting to learn about the process from different aspects and angles from those team members. As you look at the next month, I like to go, at that point, I like to double it and say, okay, month 1, I'm doing this. Months 2 to 3, I'm going to do these things. So again, after probably at 3 weeks in, I'm starting to say with my manager, or 4 weeks in, I'm saying to my manager, okay, what do I want to do in the next 2 months so that I can make sure I'm planning ahead, getting time on people's calendars, perhaps booking travel or going to go see other sites. And then you're going to do the same thing again, and you're going to make a bigger leap and go months 4 to 6. So you got 1 month, 2 months, and then 3 months. What's awesome is by the time you do this and you've established this plan, you've now got half of the year already clobbered, and you're probably going to have a darn good idea of, now that I'm here, This is what I want to focus on for months 7 through 12. And you're going to have, again, solid connections, solid relationships with people that you've built during this initial period. Now, when you go to meet people, oftentimes people are thinking, I don't know what to say to this person. I haven't met them before, or perhaps this is a new role. And that makes a lot of sense. Oftentimes we're not comfortable when we're meeting somebody in a new environment where they've got different responsibilities than what we're used to working with, perhaps at our previous jobs or in a different role. Here's some things you can do. 1, be sure to introduce yourself. Let them know about you. Let them know a quick history, and I mean quick. Get it down to like 90 seconds to 2 minutes. You don't want to blather on and on and on. You really want to learn about them. Again, they're going to figure out how technically brilliant you are soon enough. So give them some quick background on you, and then start to ask them questions about them, about their work, about their history, so that you get a better sense of some of their skill sets, some of what they value. Here are some great questions to ask. We're going to throw these on the screen. We'll also have these as a PDF that's attached to this blog page, so you can download these and make adjustments and put this in your own language. All right, first question is, what major projects have you got coming up in the next 6 to 18 months? What are you expecting from this role? What are you expecting from this role in the next year? What are the bigger hurdles that you or your team are faced with right now? What was your path to get to this position? What's one thing you wish you knew when you started at this job or at this company? What's important for me to know as you and I start working together? Now, if those are going great, one of my favorite bonus questions is, and this is where you're going to get a sense. You're going to know pretty quickly how game somebody is for this kind of a question. You can ask, you know what, I'm looking forward to working with you. I don't want to step on any landmines. Tell me, what are 2 of the biggest pet peeves you have at work so that I can know what those are and stay away from them? Now you're having some fun. You're probably going to get a little bit of a laugh or a grin, and this is where you're also going to learn some important things that people may say, boy, I really like to start a meeting on time, or boy, whatever you do, don't cook fish in the lunchroom. Man, my office is next to the lunchroom, and I'm going to smell that all day. You're going to learn something valuable about your new coworker, and also they're going to learn that you care. All those questions show that you care and that you're interested about their business, you're interested about them, you're interested in learning more about how to work with them really effectively so that things are going smoothly. You'll be able to build on what you learned there later on. As you have all of these conversations, one of the most important things you can do, boy, is take notes. Notes let people know that I am showing up, I'm paying attention, and what you're saying is important enough that I'm going to make a point to capture this so that I've got it later on to refer to. So sometimes people will say, well, don't worry taking notes about this. And what you may even say to them is, hey, I appreciate it. I really want to make sure that I'm doing my best to capture some of this, so I'm not asking you the same thing twice. Or so that in case I'm looking for some information or a particular piece of a particular item that we've discussed, I'm able to get it even if you're not available. So that's what notes show. Notes show that you care. So play with all these pieces here. Hopefully what you're going to find is that as you start this new job, as you think about how you're going to approach this, you're not only confident in showing up with what you know, you're also confident in how you're going to show up. Your willingness to learn, to ask questions, your focus on challenging your own assumptions or what you know, and also taking some of that pride and some of that, I want to let them know how technically good I am, and sticking some of that in your pocket. They're going to figure that out pretty quickly. And when you ask questions, you're also going to slide in some of those pieces in an indirect way, so you're not saying, oh, I know what that is, that's a such and such. You'll be able to ask a question where they go, oh, he knows all about this process. So that will be fun for you. Hopefully this is helping you feel better, that you're getting a solid sensation for how you're going to start. If this video was helpful for you, please hit the like button. You can also hit subscribe to catch these later on. If you'd like to see our written content as well, you can go right to wingspanperformance.com. On the homepage, go to the bottom and you can sign up for our Wingspan Weekly. You'll find all of our blogs on our blog section on the website. We've got about 100 or so blogs written on there, so you can find all kinds of tips on all kinds of topics, so go in there and eat your heart out. Let us know what we can do to help you with other work issues as you and your teammates perhaps are either changing jobs or you're just facing day-to-day challenges and you want some help. You can send us a note through the website and we're happy to get ideas. You can reply right to this video and we'll pick them up there as well. So have a great day. Share this with somebody who you know who's changing jobs if you weren't yourself. Thanks.